poaching put us on the map. Everybody knows Hawston because of poaching. All the negative things, but we can turn that negativity into all positive things because we've got good people out in Hawston. Being in the tourism industry, there are so many opportunities for people in Hawston, and Hawston, which is rich in culture and history, it's just the perfect place for people to start a tourism business. Any advertising is good advertising. Everybody knows Hawston, and because they know us, we must actually grab that opportunity and tell them, hello, here we are. We in close proximity to wine estates, to the Arabella Golf Club, to the wild horses at the Botteriver Lagoon, and we even have our own Padaflay here in Hawston, which lends itself to so many opportunities. Yes, the fact that Hawston has blue flag status, I think we should capitalize on that. It's not every beach that has blue flag status. So actually it's a plus for Hawston.
Today you're on the abalone farm of Irvin Johnson, where we breed and grow out abalone to market size. Now abalone is endangered, but because it's being farmed, you're still allowed to trade with it. So I think it's placed on Appendix C, if I'm not mistaken, which allows the species still to be traded. I think abalone farming has been a great job creator because we farm abalone where you normally find abalone in the wild, which means it's quite rural. And yeah, where the abalone used to be harvested and where quotas have now been stopped, in those very same places you'll find abalone farms that provide jobs. And it's quite labour intensive, especially on the feeding and cleaning side of tanks. So an average farm will employ between 75 and 85 people. Because abalone farming is very expensive to get into. You also need a high level of technical ability. So it's very complicated, especially the early parts of the life cycle. It's far more difficult than fish farming, for instance. And the only way that I can see industry playing a role to help the communities is that one can form joint ventures where you pass this technology on to another farm, where black empowerment companies, for instance, have a large stake. And I believe a government can play a role in help funding those kind of farms. And I believe industry would be prepared to get involved in that kind of way.
Farming seaweed is a job creation by itself. If government wants to, they can start up seaweed farms where the seaweed gets cultivated and sold back to abalone farmers as feed.
With the successful abalone operation here that we've already established, it allowed us to expand our opportunities into finfish research. We initially started on research, can we spawn the things out of season, and we've managed to do that successfully. And what it allows us to do is the smaller communities that have either lost their abalone harvesting rights or their fishing rights in many of the smaller communities, this is an alternate option for them as well. So as we say, we're successful with the abalone, we're now successful with the fish, so we can roll out both options for these communities that have lost their fishing rights. And obviously with the assistance of government to roll it out faster, and with the capital injection, it will help those communities to establish an alternative source of income.
I believe if you can successfully stop poaching at the coast where it's actually happening, then hopefully these fishing communities can partake in that fishery once again.
What do you think is most important for the future of the community?
Education, marine education, especially for the learners. And I think it should start at the schools, you know, where learners should be made aware of the value of our ocean, the value of marine life, the value of our perlemoen. This should be an eye-opener to them, you know, to broaden their horizons. And I think the key word is education, education, education. Everybody has great potential in Hawston, and with this potential that we have, I think we will be a #1 town and a town to be reckoned with. I think I've got to say this in Afrikaans. Met God aan ons kant skrik ons vir niks.